Hello, welcome back to another Formula 1 video, and today we're doing another video on what Reddit thinks of the Grand Prix which just happened, the Miami Grand Prix. But today we're going to see what Reddit thinks of the Miami Grand Prix, but we're not doing it on the Formula 1 Reddit, we're doing it on the Formula Dank Reddit. So let's see. And oh, this one looks good. Martin Brundle in Miami fighting through hordes of celebrities and TikTokers who have never watched a motor race in their lives. This one is a very good meme because if you haven't seen it, F1 really wanted to push it as this huge event, as this brand new huge event which everybody should go to. So a ton of celebrities went there. I know Michael Jordan went there, Serena Williams, Michelle Obama, and David Beckham even. So it was huge. And Martin Brundle, of course, trying to go through all of these celebrities, trying to find someone to talk to. Jos Verstappen, whenever 40-year-old Max made a mistake in karting. So if you didn't hear, Max Verstappen talked about what I would say his father did during Verstappen's karting career. And when he was 14, and I think it was made a bad race and started to talking or something, he was dropped off at the petrol station or gas station to just walk home. But thankfully his mother was behind him, so nothing happened. But that's quite interesting to see. Okay, so George Russell. I always thought Michael Schumacher was the best Formula 1 driver ever, but after racing alongside Lewis Hamilton this season, I realized I was right. So this is a bit critical of Hamilton's performance in the recent races. I know they haven't been the best, but I wouldn't say, well, that's up for debate, but the clear statement is you can't say that there is a true greatest of all time in any sport, I would say, because of evolution which has happened in the different areas. And like here, as we can see, Schumacher down underneath right here, I would say is the greatest of the 2000s and when he was racing. So he was the greatest of that period. But when Hamilton came along and Schumacher was really not at his best, Hamilton took over. But first we had Vettel a bit and then we had Hamilton. And in my opinion, Hamilton has been better than Vettel. But that's for up for debate. And this has already started to be a much better subreddit. So, what the hell was yesterday? This was the cringiest GP I've ever watched. Las Vegas 2023. Cringiest GP you've ever watched so far. And I fully agree with that, because a lot of people might have thought it was cringy when Martin Brundle started trying to talk with all of these celebrities and they have no idea what they're talking about or know anything. Like, I remember DJ Khaled, if you watch, he made his statements were so funny. Talking about the Formula 1 race, but then we'll have to see Las Vegas. We might have a bit more poker at that. Checo losing power. You lost the toe, Checo. Did I stutter? So this was also an interesting thing which happened during the race, where basically Sergio Perez started actually losing power, but his F1, the crew said, the sensors look alright, the data looks alright, so we don't think nothing has happened. But actually something happened, and they noticed that a little bit later, so they told him to do a different dial on his steering wheel, and he would have fixed the problem. I don't think I should comment on that. Me as an American watching police escorts of football elements. America gone America, of course. I thought this was quite interesting because they have started now really Americanizing the sport, especially when they're racing in America. But it's also a little bad thing because they have to explain everything on a very low level, and I think they shouldn't just go to America for the sake of having celebrities. They should go there for building fans, and bringing the celebrities will bring in fans, but maybe you should just take pictures and show that they are there and not show that they have as little knowledge as they do. So it's already hitting the wall. So if you didn't know, as we see here, he hit the wall, but also during, I think it was free practice, he went going to go onto the chicane, but then I think he turned and he got snap oversteer and lost his rear, went straight into a wall, which is a little bit of a problem because he had like 51 Gs in the crash, and I think it was that it could have been lower if they had the special, I think the rubber barriers, which take quite a bit of the energy because they have gaps in between the different barriers, so it's not that sort of a crash. But the FIA basically said no. This one is really good. How Max sleeps knowing he's technically tied in the championship since he gets 25 free points in Monaco. Nice. And if you don't know what stats referencing, is that Leclerc's current, record in Monaco is, I think, every start since 2018. No, yeah, he has started the race all except once and has never finished it. So they're sort of playing and saying, oh, he won't finish the Monaco Grand Prix. But I think a lot of people would really like to see him win his home Grand Prix. And I remember I saw a meme a few days ago saying that no driver winning the Monaco Grand Prix will be as big of a show and achievement sort of as Charles Leclerc winning the Monaco Grand Prix. And I would fully agree with that. No one. The two drivers with the most World Drivers' Championships on the grid. Yeah, this one is also quite interesting because they're referencing Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. And what you didn't know, what you might not know, is that Vettel was having his underwear on the outside of his race suit to protest them having to look at what underwear they're actually using because they say it's safety and things. I'm not fully sure. And then Hamilton is protesting a jewelry ban on the drivers, which is specifically basically on him, a rule against him, because he's the only one who wears jewelry and is the one, if somebody else wears it, he's the one which everybody knows wears jewelry. And this could be an interesting thing to finish on. Trying to figure out whether Albon is out driving the car or Williams is a midfield car and Latifi is, make it PG, not very good. And if you don't know, Albon got points in this race and they got points in Melbourne, but Latifi is 21st in a 20 driver in a 20 driver grid. How that's possible is because Nico Hülkenberg had to race. But the problem is with the Latifi thing is that we're sort of seeing a what should we say, a Schumacher-Mazepin situation where Schumacher, for Albon for instance, is sort of Schumacher where he's out driving the car, driving the car very well and a lot higher than his teammate, even though Schumacher was and Nikita Mazepin were 1920. Schumacher still had some good races and he really led by a lot against his teammate, and that's exactly what's happening in the Williams. Which, for instance, in my opinion and my prediction is Latifi won't be having a seat next year because Williams have said they don't fully need the money, and I would probably predict Oscar Piastri is going to go there temporarily. Mark my words. And on that note, it is time to finish. So, a final verdict from me on the Grand Prix. So, I believe the Grand Prix was good in the sense of showing what Formula 1 can do in America, like it can drag in celebrities and other famous people, and also rich people in America, which is good to bring in the money. But the actual race circuit could be a lot better. I thought still it was quite nice, but there were two main problems which the drivers talked about. The first one was that the asphalt, it felt really like a go-kart track, where on the racing line it was super grippy and you could go full potential, but off the racing line you couldn't do anything because this was a brand new circuit, brand new asphalt, and no other racing series has gone there except W Series, I think it was, during the same weekend, so there wasn't a lot of like rubber building on the circuit. And then the chicane, which was interesting to see the drivers how they attacked it, was also making them lose their momentum. So they would like to change it. And now what my suggestion would be is that, let me just bring up a picture. So as we can see here is where the chicane was in this section. So I would have changed it if I could. I think that maybe if we make it a bit this, maybe have the same here, but sort of turn in and go like that, so it becomes like you brake, go slow, then you have this sweeping corner, and then you come into a other sweeping corner, so it's a bit like an S, onto the straight, so it's a bit like the China, I think it's turn 8. No, that's Turkey, but the China's sort of swing where it tightens and then the radius gets bigger and bigger, bigger and bigger, so you build up a lot of speed going through there. So I feel like this concept here, with it going like this and then that, could be this sort of work, because if you're really close, then if somebody gets better momentum, and you can have like what's it called, the DRS detection right before that, or keep it in the same place, so when they go they can be side to side and then somebody can just go, so it's really strategic through there. So I think that would be a really good decision. And on that bombshell, it's time to say goodbye. But before, what will be my video for next week? Well, my next video will be a review on what you might ask. Well, this Stinger. So I'd like to see you there. But until then, I've been Racing Logic, you've been my amazing viewers. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.